Well, hello everybody. So, in the last episode of Let's Play Dwarf Fortress Tradeancient, we dug down in some exploratory mining, and we found our first underground cavern lair. We didn't really see anything dangerous right off the bat. We did see some remains, and judging by the spider silk, we do know that there are some giant cave spiders in that lair. So what we did is we floored off the mine shaft that we had going down, and now we're setting up another mine shaft so that we can continue our exploratory mining. That's what we're monitoring at this point. We should have a caravan coming pretty soon. It just went to autumn, so that'll be good. That'll get us some more dwarf bucks, so that maybe we can buy a few things. We'll probably look, see if they've got any fuel. That would be smashing. Also, we'll be buying any seeds that they have. We'd probably even take plump helmet spawn at this point. We definitely want to make sure we don't run out of that. Although we really shouldn't. You know, we disabled the plump helmets for cooking. They're only for brewing, so it should be a nice positive feedback loop there. Alright, so let's go ahead and resume. I'm not seeing the flickering as much, so perhaps it's something to do with the menus. Looks like our digging's going fine. So that layer is now good. I don't think that they have the floor set up yet there, but looks like they might be working on it. Okay, so that did work out. Excellent. I think what we'll do is let's go ahead and... I don't really want to do mining on this layer because we might have to expand down and make some more housing. In fact, we almost certainly will. So let's go ahead, and we went down a few layers, and what I normally like to do is, you know, sometimes I'll go all the way to the edge of the screen, but you know, that can also affect your calculations. So let's just do some 20 by 3s out in each direction just to kind of get an idea of what's on this layer. Really like that flooring to get done. Would be great. Okay, so it just looks like it's more chert. So now that we've popped that cavern layer, basically what'll happen is all that fungi wood will start growing, which, as you can see, since this floor is a more of a soil layer, it's actually growing moss, and see, it's growing pigtails. That's funny. So yeah, it's growing it here too. So I guess we could just open up a big open space here and it would start growing. But I don't think we're gonna do that. Is our bridge done? Bridge is completed. So what you do to link up the bridge is you go back down to where the lever is, and you click on the lever, and you're going to lowercase a to add a new task. And what you want to do is you want to hit B to link up to a bridge. And if you had more than one bridge, you would see them, they would all be listed here, but since we only have one, it's just the one, so you just hit enter. And then it's going to ask you which mechanisms you want to use, and it really does not matter. So enter, enter. And somebody will link that up. And then if danger ever comes, what we can do is we can yank on that lever. Now, what we could do is we could build like a wall around this whole place. So effectively kind of walling off like, you know, there's no ramp here and there's a wall, so they'd have to climb up 2 layers. And that could be good. I really should use my hotkeys. Okay, so a caravan is coming, but it has no outpost liaison. And if you recall, remember when we started in the first video, it told us that this civilization was dying or slowly dying out. So it looks like it hasn't died out, but not doing too well. So anytime a caravan comes, what you need to do is you need to go to where your trade depot is, and you're going to want to come here, and you need to hit R. Right now it says no trader needed at depot. You hit R, trader requested at depot. So that will summon your broker up here. And then you want to hit lowercase g to move goods to the depot, because you're only going to be able to sell what's at the depot. And we want to sell our rock goblets. So what you want to do is, it's very time consuming if you want to actually try to pick them out of, all this stuff. So we're just going to do like select S, select finished goods. And enter, and they'll just move those 3 bins. So it's very, very time efficient. Lost pick. Okay, so that just means he's heading for there right now. So the caravan will come, and they'll get set up, and then we'll trade. We'll trade with them. So I'm glad we got our depot set up in time. That's another reason to floor off this part, because then you won't have this growing. See, we've got a sapling growing here, and a sapling growing here too. Eventually that will grow big enough to where we could cut it down for wood. Alright, so it'll take them just a moment or two. Let's go ahead and designate with planning mode. We're going to want these to be bedrooms, so let's go ahead and get that ready to go. That way whenever we crank out some beds, it'll automatically throw them there. Now you still do have to go and make it a bedroom, and then a door here. So it looks like we need more beds. So we'll make 10 more beds. And let's make rock door. 10 more rock doors. Now there is a better way than just always making queuing work orders for what you need, and I will show you that at some point in time, but for now we're just going to stick with the work order menu. Looks like we missed a piece when we were building our floor there. Right here. Can't have that. Alright, I wonder if they're ready yet. So I'll click here and we'll hit T for trade, and they are ready. So Imish says, greeting from the mountain homes. Your efforts are legend there, let us trade. So as you can see, there are 2 sides to this window. On the left side, those are the things that the trade caravan has. On the right side, those are the things that we have. And use the arrow keys to switch back and forth between the 2. Now, we don't have much. So let's go ahead and we'll hit Shift Enter just to see how many dwarf bucks we have to offer. So we have a grand total of 5,500, which isn't really that bad since it's the first year. So they're only going to let us get a certain amount of money, and they still have to get a profit. The more profit you send them home with, you might get a bigger caravan next year, assuming that the civilization still survives. If the civilization dies, we will not get any more fall caravans. So what do we want from them? Well, we're probably going to keep it pretty basic. We don't need any wood blocks. Glass can be good for moods, but we do have a lot of sand. We just don't have a glass blower's furnace yet. Rope. I really do like rope. If we can pick up a cheap, so that this one is 30, that's good. Rope can be used as a binding for, say watchdogs. Instead of pasturing them, you can tie them to the rope, which is very handy. Alright, what else do we got here? So, more rope. I don't know that I really want more than 2 at this point. Could get another dog, could get another cat. Nah. I normally don't like to buy animals because the migrants will bring animals with them. So if you're just patient, you will have quite a few animals. We definitely want to pick up the milk barrels and the wine barrels. Anything that's a drink, we're going to pick up just to supplement our stocks, which they don't have a lot. We could buy some weapons, but I don't think that's necessary at this point. Armor, same thing. Cave wheat seeds we're going to take. So eventually what we will definitely want to be farming for some other things. Gypsum plaster can be very useful I think we brought it in our embark, but it's good to have a little bit extra just in case you have to cast, make a cast for somebody. It's pretty expensive. Let's switch out. I don't want that. Get that cheap one. Cave wheat seeds. I have a feeling I'm paying for the bag. Paying extra for the bag. Sand, not necessary. Wheat flour. I typically like to get the flour bags and the sugar bags because you use them for cooking. But we're going to pass on that for this caravan. Some more seeds. Rock nuts are good. Pigtail seeds, rock nuts. So that was it. They really have not brought very much with them. And we're going to pick up all the leather and cloth that they have. We're going to burn through a lot of cloth and leather, keeping our dwarves in armor and clothes. Clothes will degrade over time. And you have to, if you don't replace them on the dwarf, they'll have unhappy thoughts. We did bring an iron anvil with us, so we don't need that. I'm going to go ahead and pick up all of this food. Even though it sounds gross, we can use it for cooking, or the dwarves can eat it just as is. These fish are already prepared for cooking, so we'll just snatch up all of those. We'll get these plump helmets too, that'll help. Little veggies and fruit for the dwarves, that never hurt anybody. So that's interesting. Normally dwarves will bring only the subterranean crops, but these are all above ground crops. Strange. Strange indeed. Let's go ahead and pick up if we see any cheap thread, like this 6, oh, that's a 12. Is there any cheaper than 12? No. So we'll pick up the 2 12s, just so we have that in case somebody needs to be stitched up. We'll pick up the cheese too. Cheese is expensive, but you know, I like cheese in real life, so I like to buy cheese. Because this is kind of crappy, guys, because we didn't get a liaison. Which what that means is, because we didn't get a liaison, we cannot request things from our home civilization. Now, that doesn't seem like a big deal, but typically you can request things that you don't have available to you that they might, such as fuel. So that's kind of a bummer. Alright, so that's we're probably just gonna have to trade them everything, which is fine, and that'll only give them 1,600 profit. They may not go for it. So what you do is you just hit T for trade. Okay, so he's very happy, which is good. He took the trade. If we had given him more profit, he would have been ecstatic, but he's not. So I would have liked to have sent him away happier, but now that we're done trading, we don't need the trader anymore, so we can hit R, and then you hit G again, and then just hit Shift Enter. And that will tell the dwarves to move everything to a bin. Now the thing that we're going to want to monitor on this is to make sure that all of the food gets put into a stockpile. Food that's in a stockpile cannot rot, but food that is not in a stockpile will absolutely rot. And as you can see, our food stockpile is already pretty full, so it might not be a bad idea to go ahead and preemptively get this set up as some overflow. And we can have both drink and food here for the time being. We'll probably want to segregate that at some point, but we definitely want to forbid seeds out of that. We do not want seeds down here. Busy, busy dwarves. So let's see what our exploration found. Well, not a whole lot. Chert and a few clusters that we will dig out. Now, this is where Dwarf DF hack comes in handy. So let's see if I can add that to the sources. Should have already had this here. So I want to show you how to use this. So I might have to add another source. Did that work? I don't know if that worked. Add. Well, we might just have to screen cap it. Will that work? Maybe. Huh. Okay, so that did work. Let me see how this looks. Okay, well that's just fine. Alright, so this is the DF hack command line. And what you can do that can make you know, mining out gems and veins very, very simple is you just put your cursor on the what you want to mine out. So we want this citrine cluster here, right? And then you go back to the command line, if I can find it. And what you do is you just type in this command, dig v, and as you can see, it's highlighted these also to be dug, and what that means is that that citrine cluster ran over here too. And it looks like it doesn't connect, but dwarves can actually move diagonal. So, and we'll do the same thing here. So we'll dig v that. Boop. And dig v that. Alright, so not as much as I had hoped for, to be quite honest with you guys. You know, we could either expand out these layers, or we could dig down. I think I'm going to expand out this layer a little bit. Probably 10 more each direction, just to see. But I'll tell you, it's not looking good for this layer. Not good at all. It could be a situation, you remember we have the ocean biome is up here. It's over this direction, so we might have to dig up kind of in that direction to be able to find anything, which that's definitely an idea. Cannot reach site. Suspended construction of the floor. So let's go check that out. Okay, they're still doing that. We try to unsuspend it. It could be because that rock's in the way. I don't know. Okay. Why is he sleeping there? There's plenty of bedrooms. Maybe he's narcoleptic. Who is this? Edsel Mobbed Fountain. I mean, there's beds right here. Really? I don't understand. Why are you not choosing a bedroom? I don't understand. You'd think that they would prefer that. Just go find that. So normally I like to set a hotkey to my digging layer, and I mean, we could I don't know. I'm not like super concerned with it, really. I mean, if a forgotten beast spawned, then I would be paying for that decision. I mean, a cave bat could fly up in there. I don't know. I mean, it's something we definitely want to take care of. But... So let's set a hotkey to here. Shift H, hotkey F5. That sounds swell. Change the name to mines. And then I want to set a hotkey for here too, so I can keep an eye on it. And let's make that Shift F1, Z, and POE. Hi, I've got Path of Exile in the brain. Point of interest. So let's go back up to F5. Doesn't really look like we're finding much. Let's take a trip up to that corner. So what we'll do is we'll just hollow out straight to here and here, and then cut across both ways. Because normally the ocean biome is where you find more of the metals, seems like. So it looks like we need some more wooden bins because we have rock mugs that are not being stored. So let's go ahead and kick out some wood bins. Don't want to do cabinets. Cabinets are needed, but not right now. 10 more. 10 moss bins. And at some point we're going to want to expand the workshop layer over to here and here as well. This will probably end up being our kind of like our smithing area, and this will end up being, I don't know, could just make it into like a grand stockpile. Okay, so interrupted by combat. Let's pause and let's look at our reports. So we've got a few reports here. The hunter is hunting. Giant wild boar. Ooh. Huh. Okay, well it looks to me like he was giving better than he was getting. With the giant wild boar. I don't know why he's hunting though. Is it, yeah, it's turned back on. I wonder if auto labor switched back on. I bet it did. Whatever. You know, auto labor is very good. Very helpful, but auto labor really takes a lot of the micro out of the game, but it can also make your dwarves feel a little bit more alien to you, if that makes any sense. Like taking a stronger hand in the day-to-day going-ons of your dwarves, it's kind of cheesy, but it brings you closer to them. So, and it for people with vivid imaginations who enjoy this kind of thing, it really adds to the fiction. So, you know, these dwarves, geez, what is this? What is going on with this wild boar? Let's go see this wild boar, because he is apparently, well, maybe he's dead. No, there's a ton of them. Oh, we're being invaded by the wild boar tribe. Maybe the, where are they? Okay, so they're here? Is that a wild boar? Yeah. Yeah, these are all wild boars. So that's excellent for meat. We just don't really have a military. Yeah, they're hanging out like right by where we are. Which, I mean, kind of makes sense because we're pretty close to the water. Hunter be hunting. So it's probably going to be a good idea for us to build another crafts dwarf workshop. So we're gonna need to dig out this lair. Well, let's just make the workshops first. So 5 by 5s. Exploratory mining is very important, but it's also important to have wooden bolts and rock mugs. Yeah, we're only going to make wooden bolts because I don't want to be burning all of my metal on bolts. And once we set up an archer militia, we'll be needing them to practice. So we'll give them wooden bolts to practice with as well. Okay, so that will be our next workshop annex. Alright, so I think that's a pretty good place for us to cut. Next time we will get these workshops up and rolling. We're going to make some wooden bolts, so hopefully our hunter can wipe out the scourge of the wild boar. Since apparently they are everywhere, and they would be a great source of hides and meat for us. Anyways, I'll see you then. Game on.